Sound test, 1, 2, 3. Sound test. This looks a bit more promising. A lot of them seem to be beaching themselves, which is not very handy. So we have about 6, I think, of the rowdy bass and no leprechaun fish here. Now I am just working this out from scratch because for some reason I've never done this competition before, either on my Steam account or on my Microsoft account. I don't know quite how that's come about, but I'm just finding my way around really. And the principal goal will be to get as many bait coins as possible. But at the same time, if I can complete the event on one account or the other, or even both, that will be very good. So welcome along if you're watching live, and welcome along if you're not watching live and watching at a later date. I've got 3 rods going with a, as you can see, a triple rod stand, 2 bottom rods, a bottom sniper and a heavy chaser, and I've got a Majesty as well, so they're all fairly over spec'd for these sort of fish. Just to get them in really, and pull them in and get as many bait coins as I can. I'm hoping that the bait coin tally happens at the end as it would when you're normally fishing, because the fish are showing us 1 bait coin here, so I'm guessing they don't actually count until you empty your net at the end. So let's have a look. We've got 4 rowdy bass here. So on my other account, on my Steam account earlier, I did the emerald horseshoe thing 3 times. I think I've done the actual horseshoe bit, but I'm not sure about the rest of it. But I guess if you're getting 7 clover coins every time you repeat this mission, if I can crack how to get the leprechaun fish, which I'm clearly not doing at the moment, then that would be good. I wonder if the leprechaun fish go for the green worms. I'm just trying to think what they're called. Drunken worms. I suspect that might be the case, seeing as I've had 4 of the rowdy bass already on the grasshoppers. Now the first lot of grasshoppers that allowed me to start catching things I picked up from one of the pots. I think it was the pot at Emerald, over on the far bank. Let's go via the boat, and then for catching the first rowdy bass you get an extra prize as well, and that was grasshoppers here. I went to Naren on my Steam account and did a bit of fishing there, and I noticed for the first fish of each type you get an extra bonus as well as your bait coin. So I'm in desperate need of cash on this account, and I'm in fairly real need of bait coins as well. So just thought this would be a good opportunity to try and get some. I would imagine if I work enough on it, I can work out a method of getting the bait coins a lot quicker. Well, I hope I can anyway. But we'll have to see. If we don't have much more luck here, then I may well move on to Naren and have a go from there. So as always guys, please do leave messages down below if you have any ideas on any of this. As always, as almost always, these videos that I'll be making over the next few days will be exploratory ones, not I've worked it all out, this is how to do it. So that's half the fun of it for me, but certainly if you've got any tips and you've worked things out, then do let me know. And stupidly, I didn't actually make a note of when I did the first emerald boat run on this account. It's probably about half an hour ago, so I can't go and do that again for another half an hour. I actually had to buy a motorboat to be able to do it, because I tried doing it in the hire motorboat, and I think you probably could just about do it, but you'd obviously have to stay there to keep the hire, and otherwise you'd have to hire it each time. So it's high time this account had a motorboat as well as a kayak. So I decided to buy the same one that I've got on Steam, which is the Gary Scott. We can see it on here. We're allowed to see it. Yeah, should be able to. This one, the Gary Scott Lynx, 35 horsepower. And I should probably set myself the challenge of seeing how quickly I can do the going through the horseshoes. I managed to do it with 1 minute and 6 to spare. That was my third go at it. I think I had 2 goes, or 3 goes actually, so 4 goes in total. 3 on the Steam account and 1 on this. And it does seem that they're in the same place every time, which is a little bit silly. I think it would be better if they moved them around, but it does mean that you can get through it fairly quickly, because you know where things are going to be, where the horseshoes are going to be. Now I don't know whether there are any fish in different locations here, by which I mean St Patrick's Day fish obviously. Let's just plonk that out there, and in fact this Majesty is just had a ping, so let's just, yeah, they're off. I think this has still got a waggler on it actually from the weekend from the tournament I was in. Managed to get to the semi-final of the spring cats, but no further. Now, I suspect that after a certain point you just start catching normal fish, and then you'd need to move on. So of course you are earning bait coin, so I guess you could just use the bait coin, use one of your bait coins every now and again to move forward. But I'm in sort of exploratory mode at the moment anyway, so I might just go to Nairn and see whether I can catch anything much there, and then probably end the video at Emerald doing another lap of the waterway there to do the next bit of the horseshoe challenge. I guess what you don't really want to do is be fishing on for a long period of time where you're catching fish that aren't festival fish. because you're then wasting the special baits. I really should put this back to a normal setup because I've got a waggler float on there and it's really not ideal. This looks better. What we really want is a leprechaun. Still seem to be getting the rowdy bass, so my thinking at the moment is that perhaps here the grasshoppers, the bully grasshoppers, catch the bass and the drunken worms catch the leprechaun fish, but I haven't really got enough data to go on for that yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't seem to have made much difference, does it? Never mind, you probably don't want to see too much of me anyway. Right, that really is a fish this time, and it's a good one. It's another rowdy bass, so I'm beginning to think that's a new personal record, rowdy bass. Wow. The float seems to be working quite well. But we could do with some of the drunken worms, I think. And this could be another one actually. Yeah, this is another festival fish. It's another rowdy bass. Well, I really don't mind this, guys, at the moment. I'm very happy to be pulling in bait coins at this sort of rate. What is this so far? I set it to 1 o'clock, so that's 20 minutes real time, and we have, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bait coins. That'll do me. Quite happy with that. I'm sure I won't be getting 21 an hour, but it's still pretty good. But as I say, what we might, I think, do is look to switch over to Naren, even if it just gives us a likelihood of getting some of the worms, and then come back here with those worms and continue with this quest. What I don't know is whether the festival fish will go for other baits and or go for a lure or whatever. I suspect it's highly unlikely, but I guess it wouldn't do much harm to find out. I'll tell you what we can do here. Let's put the proper float back on. Waggler setup. So this is a Majesty rod, which is major overkill for this farming, but it does mean you can just hoik them straight in. I still can't actually see that awfully well. Okay, let's reset that depth. It's a bit more sensible. So we've got the Majesty there with I had a ledger set up on it, but sorry, not a ledger, I keep saying ledger, waggler set up. And I've just set that back to a normal float, a normal chubby. And then in the first bottom slot I've got a heavy chaser 290. And in the other I've got a bottom sniper 300. I'll have a proper look at the setups in a minute. Yeah, this is a festival fish certainly. This is really giving a proper fight on a heavy chaser. This must be a seriously big fish. There's nothing in this river that would fight anywhere even vaguely this hard. So this is proper fish, and it's a festival fish. Either a rowdy bass, or it hopefully could maybe be the first leprechaun fish. Let's see. Goodness me, this is a seriously hard fighting fish. Kit is all rated. I don't know what leader I've got on here, but maybe it's the leader that's letting things down a bit. That is a 12 kilo rowdy bass. Goodness. Let's just have a look what that leader is, because it's not really very clever if that's, yeah, it's 15. And it's a mono leader. Can we put something a bit heavier on there? Let's swap it for that. Let's have a look at what the main brand, that's fine. X Series braid 18, so that's okay. Okay, so we'll put this in the rod rest and just do another quick tally. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bait coins effectively. But I don't think, I'm pretty sure now that I don't think we're going to get any of the leprechaun fish until we get the drunken worms as a bait. So I think we're going to need to go to Nairn to do that. But we'll carry on for a little while longer and get a few more of these rowdy bass and a few more bait coins. See what this is. This I don't think this is big enough, no, not on that rod. Just a normal bass. It's not really very easy to see that. This looks a bit more like it. No. Now I don't really want to get too low on the grasshopper bait because that's all I've got for festival fish, so I think I might possibly go to Narin sooner rather than later. Maybe give it until 3 o'clock, that'll be half an hour fishing here. If we can get 10 bait coins in half an hour. Good opportunity really to stock up on bait coins because they are valuable in the game. If you're new to the game, they can allow you to purchase all sorts of bits, some things that you can't get with cash, some things that you can't get at the level you're at with cash or credits. And there are certain things, for example tackle slots and things like that, and marker buoys that can only be bought with bait coins. Can't resist just having a quick because I'm here. Let's just see if we can get a nice little grass pickerel out of here. It is, after all, the perfect spot for both grass and chain pickerel. A bit of the second twitching technique. Meanwhile, something's come off on the bottom sniper. Now this could be a bigger fish because this is a, no, this is a little fish again. It's only really the Majesty that you can see low ratings on the bars and it be a big fish because it is such a, what's happened with that line? Has that got stuck in the tree? Would be interested to know just whether you can get a St. Patrick's Day fish with a lure. I suspect not. Little pickerel. this going to go? Don't think so. Just 9, I think. Oh, only 8. Yeah, guys, I think we need the other bait, the worms. So I think what I'm going to do now is move over to Naren. Let's see what this is on the Majesty. This is not a good fish. Okay, so neither is that. So I think to some degree we're now wasting the special bait. So let's move over to Naren. Yeah, so those bait coins have just counted up because I was on 142 when I started. Just going to make a note of that. And I don't think there's anything we need to change, so we'll go to Naren, and then I think we'll do maybe 20 minutes there, and then whiz over to Emerald Lake just before midnight, because you want to go there really just before midnight so that you can get to two prizes from the pot of gold, because you get one every day. So you want to make sure that you're in one place just before and just after midnight each day. So we need a license for Now, on my Steam account earlier I was fishing up here somewhere. I really don't know whether there's anywhere that's particularly good. But let's go and check. I think there are 2 pots here with stuff in it. Can't really remember. Where is this one? Over there. Let's just do a quick whiz round. You need to look very carefully at their end, because there are all sorts of little nooks and crannies that they could put things in. And as this is, as I say, always exploratory, I'm not sure where they are. I know where one of them is, but I guess it's a good way of getting you to explore these places. There we go, that's what we wanted, a drunken worm. Now, it'd be interesting to see whether here the drunken worm catches the leprechaun fish, or whether it's just mix and match. But on my Steam account, as I say, when I caught a leprechaun for the first time and a rowdy bass for the first time, it gave me an extra bonus, as well as the bait coin. It gave me, and this was the spot I was fishing from earlier. You seem to work quite well, but I'm sure there are plenty of others. Just looking out really at the moment, see if there are any. I think that's probably, I had a vague feeling there were two. Links here. Okay, let's go back to this, but I don't really think it matters. I just want to. Now I've got some drunken worms. Let's get one of those in the water. I made sure that I cleared enough slots in the tackle box so that I could pick those sorts of things up, so at least I didn't make that mistake this time, although I'm sure I will over the course of the festival. And let's see if we can just pull out a couple of festival fish. I haven't changed the time yet, so we'll see in a minute if we need to do that. I did earlier on my Steam account, I changed the time and it did seem to make a bit of a difference, but let's just see what happens. And then we'll fish on here for 20 minutes and then head back to Emerald and do another lap of the horseshoes to continue with that quest. The feeling it probably would be a good idea to. Oh no, we're in a good time on the bite chart anyway. So for anyone just joining, I have 2 bottom rods and a match rod, and they're all very heavy gauge with heavy kit on, just to get the fish in quickly, although we did just have a rowdy bass of 12.5 kilos, which took about probably over a minute to land on the heavy chaser, which was quite a surprise at Mudwater. But no luck with the leprechaun fish at Mudwater. We caught 8 rowdy bass on the grasshoppers, but we didn't have any of the drunken worms, so I'm suspecting that they get the leprechaun fish maybe, and the rowdy bass I got with the grasshoppers. Trophy white crappie, which I'm sure is very nice, but that's not what I'm after. Maybe it needs to be a little bit further out. there if you're just joining live. This is very much an exploratory live session, as my videos and sessions normally are, so this is not how to do it. This is a very much an exploratory session. Please do say hello in the chat if you are watching live, and leave me a message please if you're watching this at a later time. If you have any anything that you worked out on this mission, or any parts of the St. Patrick's Day set. And if you're watching while fishing yourself, please do let me know where you are and what you're catching. You're probably doing quite a lot better than I am at the moment. We don't seem to be doing anywhere near as well here as we were doing at Mudwater, and indeed we're not doing anywhere near as well here as I was earlier on my Steam account. Let's try moving over to the Drunken Worm on this one. Hi there Frank, and good to see you. And yeah, first comment, hope you're doing well, and yeah, I hope you're having a good day today. It's just coming up to 10 minutes to midnight here in the south of the UK where I am. I didn't do awfully well in my semi, unfortunately, on the Spring Cats. I think came 33rd or something like that. For a long time I was in the top 20, but on this account, which is my my Microsoft account, I'm only at, as you can see, at level 51, and I know that the large liver got a lot of the big flatties at Quanchkin. I don't know whether you made it to the semi on that one or not. I think you made it to the semi on the previous one, as I recall. But anyway, let me know how you're getting on. I'm not sure about helpful hints from me at the moment, but as always it's an exploratory session, so we're just working it out. I have done some fishing here on my Steam account earlier on today and did a lot better. Actually, Cove was here and I was trying to connect up with him, but I think he was just here to grab the stuff from the pots and move on. Yeah, I was doing a lot better than on the Steam account than I am on the Microsoft account here, but got a fair few at Mudwater, so I think I made 8 bait coins in about half an hour earlier on. I'm sure by the end of St Patrick's I'll have got that honed down a little bit better. Well, I hope so anyway. I did think probably Cove would be streaming tonight, and if he had been I probably wouldn't, but I would have tried to join him in his shed. Okay, yeah, you're in California, yeah, that's right, yeah. I hope it's hope you're having a good day over there in California. You didn't get out of the top 400 range. Well, very often, certainly on my now this is more like it. I shall come back to you in a minute, Frank. Let's just get this fish landed, seeing as it's the first thing I've had in about an hour on in-game. See whether it's a leprechaun or I suspect it's going to be another rowdy bass, if my theory is correct. It's another fairly hard fighting fish, as is often the case with these festival fish. They're sort of mutations of the real thing, aren't they? You'd never get a bass anywhere near this big, it goes without saying, here or anywhere else. Well, not based on that fish, which is not a striped bass or whatever. Well, that's a bait coin anyway. I wonder if it's worth just marking that, because that will be wherever that landed. It's probably worth just sticking that in. Give me some idea. Yeah, I think probably going along is the best plan here. Yes, I really struggle now with the tournaments on Steam. I usually book them both because it's 20 grand, and if you've got something like St Croix or St Joaquin as one of the places where you can fish for a number of days, then it's almost worth it for the fact that you get the day's pass. So I usually, at the start of every tournament, I just apply on both accounts, on my Microsoft account and on my Steam account. But these days I don't really get anywhere on the Steam account, and I concentrate more on the Microsoft one. The Steam one, so you're on PS4. Okay, yeah, that's your handle on PS4. I think Savvy's on PS4 and Windows, is he? I think he is. Pretty sure he is. And there's a few other streamers that are on PS4 as well. That spot certainly does seem to have something going for it. I think maybe I'll put this float rig a bit further out in that direction. But yeah, the Steam competition on Steam now is getting, I think it's probably to do with the times we're living in, and a lot more people are at home and they've got more time on their hands, and they're all going for it. Plus you've got the usual gang of what you can only really call professionals now, who just are on here a lot of the time and get to know all the waterways and where all the fish are and spend hours practicing, and I just haven't got the time to do that and keep a day job going. So it's just a bit of fun, but I'm enjoying doing a bit of live streaming. I hope it's all coming through to you okay. I'm using Streamlabs like Cove does, but I've just been playing around with the camera and managed to get that to work, so I hope that's coming through to you okay. I've got another screen, as you can see. I keep looking over to just check that and see who's chatting. But anyway, great to see you, Frank, and thanks for dropping by and lending moral support. I'm hoping to head over shortly to Emerald, and I'll do the quick whiz around with the horseshoes there and pick up the, actually I meant to get there before midnight, but I'm not going to quite do that, but I think I've picked up today's one there, so that doesn't actually matter. So we'll maybe have 5-10 more minutes here, see if we can get a leprechaun, and then we'll do the Emerald horseshoe run, and then I might, now I've got some drunken worms, I might head back to Mudwater and see if I can do this bit and clock up one lot of clover coins. I know Cove was streaming yesterday, but I couldn't quite work out where he was here. I was fishing earlier just the other side of this rock, but basically into the same water, but I was doing an awful lot better than I am now with the, I was going to say Halloween fish, with the St Patrick's Day fish. As I said earlier, I'm interested to know whether any of these special fish can, oh, this is more like it, and this is on the Majesty, so this, now this could be the first leprechaun on this account. Keep your fingers crossed, guys. I think it is. Okay, now that's not going to clock up on the left because we're at Narin, not Mudwater, but it does at least prove my theory. So yeah, we get another load of drunken worms, which is good. So that takes my drunken worms up to 46, which will be good. So I think I've probably got, let's have a look what I've got in here. We've got 45 drunken worms, and we've got, where have the funny grasshoppers gone? Right, Lucas, bully grasshopper, 28. So, yeah, just be interested to know whether it's possible to catch any of the festival fish on spinning gear. This is a bit light, but we'll give it a go here as well. You're currently in Michigan grinding for bait coins, so St Croix then is working for bait coins? Is it working well, Frank, for bait coins? You're getting a good sort of ratio there? Should have swapped them, but never mind. Get this one at least, whatever it is. Yeah, this is another festival fish. Yeah, so St. Croix is obviously one of the spots for St. Patrick's. Yeah, I'll be interested to know how you're getting on there, Frank. Oh, blimey. Just going to say that's not a festival fish, but it certainly is. So, suddenly, I don't know what's happened, I don't know why we've suddenly been... Maybe the RNG gods have just decided to give me a few fish because I said I was going to go away to Emerald. Usually works. So this should be a leprechaun. Goodness me, they do really fight quite hard for their size, and these rods, I mean, this is a bottom sniper, it's a low grade bottom sniper. I think it's rated at about 12 or 14, and the reel is less. I mean, that is ridiculous, that fight for a 7 kilo fish. But then it often is with these festival missions. So we've got 3 leprechauns and 2 rowdy bass. You think Mudwater is better and faster, but only have a license for St. Croix, and try and save money for the new lake. Oh yeah, okay, the new lake. Brazil, I think, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, yeah. I hear what you're saying. I think on my Steam account I bought very early on and licensed the Mudwater with bait coins, a lifetime one, and I think I did the same on Rocky with this account. So if I go to those two excuse me, those 2 places on these 2 accounts, I don't need a license, which is quite handy. I think the other thing, Frank, about fishing at Mudwater is that you're obviously able to repeat the leprechaun's favour mission over and over and over again. So I guess the other advantage is you're getting 7 clover coins every time, but quite how valuable they are I'm not sure. I said at the beginning of this I don't know quite how I haven't done this before, because I've had my Fishing Planet Steam account since 17, so this will be coming up for 4 years, or 4 years towards the end of the year. And I've only had this account since July of last year, so this is relatively new. So I'm not doing too badly on level 51. I haven't done any, haven't had any premium at all on this account. I was thinking I'd get premium to get up to 55 for blue crab, but I think I did all of that on my Steam account, and I'm up to 65 on the Steam account, so when the new lake does come out I won't have too far to go with that, and I may just get premium just to get myself up to there. But it'll be interesting to see the new Brazil lake. I suspect we're in for the same sort of fish. I haven't seen any beaters from anyone like KP Shimino or anyone. I don't know if you've seen any previews yet. Usually someone like KP will do an early preview. This fish is, I think it's this bottom sniper. Really could do with 4 Cazadoras and a Majesty. Is the Cazadora the bottom rod? I think it is, isn't it? The Aguero's the spinner. Oh, come on fish, this is ridiculous. God. Yes. Yeah, it does rather, doesn't it? On this account I have taken to doing it. I did a video actually on it, you might have seen it, which I think is, for me, my optimum money farming, which is at San Joaquin with a kayak. And now obviously I bought the Gary Scott motorboat today, but the kayak, I can do 20,000 about every quarter of an hour with the sturgeon there at St Joaquin. It gets a bit boring, but it's not too bad. Yeah, I think if you can get the, it's sort of what's the word, not catch-22, but it's if you can get the licenses for the places, then you can go there without having to spend the money, which means the money you get is pure profit, and so it goes on. So yeah, it's I think it's a very good idea to try and do that. But some of the lifetime licenses are frightening numbers of bait coins. You really want to be winning competitions. I've done a lot of the DLC comps and done alright in a few of those, particularly at Tiber actually. If you can get a DLC comp that does 100 bait coins for first place and 50 for second and 20 for third, and you know the waterway reasonably well and it's the sort of fishing you like to do. I mean, for me that's Alaska, and really any of the salmon, spinning for any of the salmon in that middle section, or Tiber, then you've got a good chance of at least getting 20 bait coins. And then of course there's the Well, that was, I don't know how long that took me to land that, but that was ridiculous. Yeah, you've got the group competitions as well, which usually only give 5 or 10, but I did 3 of those the other night, about a week ago. I did 3 in one night and happened to be on the winning team. I did contribute quite well to 2 of them, but I think that gave me 25 bait coins, because 2 were 10s and 1 was a 5, so there are ways, but really on my Steam account I've got 3 million quid or 3 million credits I should say, and about 450 bait coins, so I'm not doing too badly on that. But yeah, you need to be up in the thousands really, don't you, for some of the licenses for the big places. Oh, okay, great, good info, I shall check that out. Ah, now that makes sense. Yeah, I heard them talking about bull sharks on Cove's session. So, yeah, I understand now. Yeah, that makes sense. Right, let's see where we're at with this, because I'm going to have to head to bed at some point fairly soon, but let's just see how we're doing. So yeah, 3 of each, not really very good, but that's 6 bait coins, and I've got now the 2 baits I need to continue at Mudwater for a bit. So I think what we'll do is we'll poodle away from here. So, oh, DB double talk, yeah. And the lake is humongous. Okay. Right. I'm gonna have to get these. I've got 4 monitors in a row here, and the 2 I've chosen are about the furthest ones apart, so I'm gonna have to sort myself out a bit better if I'm gonna do some more live streaming over the next few days. Right, where am I going? Emerald? Don't need a license because I'm not going to fish there. Do I need any slots? 153, so whatever I pick up should be fine. So now I'm trying to do this in as quick a time as I can, just for a bit of fun. So I think my record is 1 minute and 6 seconds left out of the 2 minutes 20 I think you get, or 2.5 minutes. So we'll give it a go. Gareth Scott, trusty Gareth Scott, most ready to go. Unless you're ready to go over and get that thing. Is there another one here? I thought one of the 2 places I'd been, which is, or 3 places I'd been, had 2 pots, but don't think this is it. Okay, let's do this leprechaun thing. Sorry, golden horseshoe things. We turn 30. Let's track that. Close. Get in the boat. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. Start the engine. That's another bit of the horseshoe. Oh goody, clover coin. Right, I don't think there's anything more to do here. And I might just head back to mud water for 10 minutes and just see if we can catch a couple of leprechaun fish. So, gold horseshoe, 20 of 30, so we need to do the rest of that tomorrow. So we'll leave here. Just completed your first year in the game, excellent, yeah. Okay Frank, you take care, good to see you, and yeah, see you again next time. Okay, let's just head back to mud water just for a short while. Yeah, thanks Frank, and you as well. You take care, and see you again. Right, now the clock's just gone over, so we should be able to go and get something from over here. Just here. Excellent, that's what we wanted. We certainly didn't want 300 creds. And I think we'll just forward the time. And we'll just see if we can get the remaining fish for the leprechaun helper or whatever it's called. Let's just change that over. Leprechaun's favour. Get the Majesty in. Get the Heavy Chaser in. Bottom sniper in. Really, if I want to complete this leprechaun fish bit, I should. Keeps catching that tree. That's annoying. Yeah, I should move over to the drunken worms on. Pot of gold is on the island slightly to your left. Is that at mud water? Or is that back at Emerald? I think that's back at Emerald. I think you are. That's from when I was at Emerald, yeah. Well, so far for the session, we've made 1, 4, 2, 15 bait coins. but more importantly we've accumulated quite a lot of the worms and the bully grasshoppers, which are needed for bait for this mission as a whole, which is good. Right, come on fish. They do seem to go in waves, as far as I can see. We sat there at Narin for the best part of an hour in-game with nothing, and then suddenly caught about 5 fish. Here at Mudwater it was the other way around. First time round. Well, this is a festival fish, I can tell you that. And that's the first leprechaun here on this account. I think I've got time to get that back in again. Yeah, apart from they're both going now, of course, sod's law. This is another festival fish. No, the other one wasn't going, it was just feeding back on my monitor screen. Now this is a drunken worm, so it should be a leprechaun. It's strange that it's as straightforward as that. They don't normally do that. They make certain certain fish prone to take certain baits, but not always. But they've made it very clearly. Green drunken worm equals green hat leprechaun fish, and brown bully cricket grasshopper, whatever it is, catches brown hatted. Ah, so well, we've learnt something tonight, guys. Give it a couple more minutes and see if we can catch these last 2 leprechauns. Yes, I guessed that, Frank. Thanks for that. You were talking about emerald, yeah. The emerald pot of gold is actually at the end of the rainbow, isn't it? Whereas I don't think the other ones actually have a rainbow on them as such. I think it probably does at St. Croix though, does it? I think the only image I've seen of St. Croix is on the island where you fish for the Size Matters trout competition. I think that's where that image was from, and the Pot of Joy had a rainbow coming out the top, so I think the other ones just seem to be little pots. But I'm pretty sure that one of the venues has 2 rather than just 1. I'm sure when I went round on my Steam account earlier, and Tenerin and Mudwater and Emerald, and I'm sure there was one that had 2 pots in it, but maybe I got that wrong. Get very confused at Tenerin River because I never know whether I'm on one side of the bank or the other, and I go round and round and round and get very confused. But then I get very easily confused anyway, so. Right, come on fishy fishy. Yeah, that's the only problem with this is the delay. But it's very good to have you along, Frank, and thanks for joining me tonight. Glad you're doing well there at St Croix. Be nice to know some idea of what sort of ratio you're getting, how quickly you're catching the fish, how quickly you're having to move on, and whether you're obviously having to use bait coins to move on an hour or 2, or whether you're just fishing for the period where you're allowed to move on for a couple of hours or whatever, and whether you've worked out which days work best, or anything really. Be good to know. My primary reason really for doing St Patrick's, apart from the fact that I haven't done it before, as I say, I can't quite work out why. I remember seeing the horseshoe thing playing the music at Emerald, so I've seen it before, but I can't work out why I haven't done it before, because I've done every other mission there's been, including the recent new Christmas one. So I can't quite work out why I haven't done it. But we'll see whether I can do it on both accounts. I doubt it. I think I'll only have time to do it on one, and I really desperately need the bait coins on this account, so I think it makes sense to do it on my Microsoft account rather than the Steam one. Okay, well I think I'm going to call it a night. It's midnight here in Devon, and I wish you luck, Frank, with the rest of your fishing. I will probably stream again tomorrow, depending on whether Co's streaming or not. If he's streaming, then I probably won't, but otherwise I'll catch you then, and good to see you, and take care.